Hey, it's me. I just wanted to leave this here before the night gets too quiet. You know how it goes. The world finally slows down. The notifications stop. The noise fades a little. And that's when your brain decides to wake up. I don't really have some huge life-changing message tonight. I'm not here to lecture you or tell you to magically feel better. I just know that sometimes at night your mind starts pulling up stuff you never asked to think about. Things you said, things you didn't say, moments where you wish you'd handle it differently, old conversations you thought you forgot, stuff you were sure you were done with, but apparently your brain keeps the receipts. And suddenly you're lying there in the dark, replaying scenes like a movie you didn't even enjoy the first time. You start wondering if you were too much or not enough, if you mess things up beyond fixing, if people are thinking about you the way you're thinking about them. Maybe there's a message you still haven't answered, a choice you still haven't made, an apology you wish you had, or one you're still waiting to receive. And I just wanted to remind you, you don't have to go back through all of that right now. Not tonight. Nothing needs a decision tonight. Nothing needs a response. Nothing needs to be fixed before you go to sleep. I know that feeling, like you're laying there and your mind keeps saying, we should figure this out right now. We should fix it. We should plan what to say. We should be better. We should do more. But you're allowed to tell your brain, not right now. We're safe. We're resting. We can deal with it when the sun is up. If you're laying there feeling a little restless or scrolling because it's easier than being alone with your thoughts, that's okay. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're just human, trying to find a bit of quiet in a loud mind. You can just be here, right here, not in yesterday, replaying every detail, not in tomorrow, worrying about every possible outcome. Just here. You're allowed to let the day end without reviewing it. You don't need to give yourself a score. You don't need to rate your performance as a person. You don't need to relive every awkward moment or every choice you made. For a second, I want you to notice something really simple. Notice how your body is being held up right now. By your bed, your couch, whatever you're laying on. You don't have to hold yourself up. It's already doing that. You can let yourself sink into that support a little bit more. Unclench your jaw. Lower your shoulders just a tiny bit. You don't have to drop all the tension at once. Just soften it a little. Now take a slow breath. In and out. Ooh, let's do another one. In and out. Let it be easy. No pressure. Just air moving in and out of your body like it's been doing all day without you even thinking about it. Your body has kept you going through every moment today, even the hard ones. It carried you through conversations, tasks, decisions, emotions. And now it's allowed to rest. You are allowed to rest. Maybe your brain is telling you that you didn't do enough today, that you wasted time, that you should have handled things better. But the truth is, you did what you could with the energy, information, and heart you had at the time. You might see it differently later, and that's okay. Growth doesn't mean you were a failure before. It just means you're learning. Right now, the most important thing isn't solving everything. It's letting yourself be a person who is allowed to close the day, even if it wasn't perfect. You don't have to earn rest by being flawless. You don't have to complete every task on some individual checklist to deserve sleep. You don't have to prove your worth before you're allowed to relax. Tonight, your only job is to exist, to breathe, to let the day end. If your mind tries to drag you back into overthinking, just gently say, "We're safe right now. We could think about that another time. Tonight we're resting." You don't have to argue with your thoughts. You don't have to fix them. You could just notice them passing by, like cars on a road you're not crossing. Thoughts will come and go. Some of them will be loud. Some of them will sting. But they are not all instructions. They are not all emergencies. You are allowed to let them pass without doing anything about them. If you want, try this with me. Think of one small thing from today that didn't go completely wrong. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe you answered a message. Maybe you drank some water. Maybe you made it through a moment you were dreading. Maybe you just got out of bed when you didn't want to. Let that be enough for tonight, okay? You don't need a huge win to justify your existence. Sometimes the win is simply that you stayed. You stayed in a world that hasn't always been kind to you. You stayed even with a busy mind and a tired heart. And that really matters more than you think. If no one told you today, you did enough to deserve rest. You are allowed to be here without fixing everything. You are not behind in some secret race. You're just living a very human story, one night at a time. All right? That's all I wanted to say. Nothing big, nothing dramatic. Just a little reminder that you're allowed to let this day end without explaining yourself to your own mind. You can come back to this whenever the night feels too out of control or your thoughts start pulling you into the past. I'm not going anywhere. I'll let you rest now. Close your eyes. Let the day be over. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.